Hi there and welcome. Today we're working with frame-by-frame animations in Flash Professional 2015. On my screen is the finished version of what we're working on in this tutorial. See how the pupil of the eye moves from the left to the right in a smooth fashion? Notice what the structure of the timeline looks like. There's a keyframe in each and every frame up through frame 21. When I grade your projects and check to see if the frame-by-frame animation is present, I'm specifically looking for a series of keyframes just like this. As a heads up, you may not use any portion of this file in your own projects. You can, however, take this idea and use it as you wish. Now, let's create one of these eye animations together. In your copy of the O1 eye animation beginning.flaw file, let's take a look at the layers that are present. You've got the pupil layer and the outer eye layer in the timeline panel. For this tutorial, the outer eye layer will not move or change in any way. So let's start by extending the artwork in the outer eye layer through frame 20. Click on frame 20 in the outer eye layer, right-click, and then choose Insert Frame. As I scrub the playhead, you can see that the outer eye artwork is now extended through these frames. Moving back to the pupil layer, click on the first frame to bring that artwork back up. Let's think for a minute about how to save time with this animation and how to get a great looking product. I know that at frame 20, I want the pupil to end at a similar location on the eye, but just on the right side rather than the left. So I'm going to copy frame 1 by right-clicking and choosing Copy Frame. Then let's insert that frame in frame 20. Right-click on frame 20 and choose Paste Frame. Hold down the Shift key to constrain the X-axis and move the pupil to the desired spot. It's time to set the midpoint in the pupil's progress. Copy frame 1 again. Then, in frame 10, paste your copied information. Drag the pupil to the approximate spot we want it to be in at the bottom of the arc. Did you see how the pupil wants to go meet the outline of the eye? That is called snapping. For our purposes today, we do not want that snapping feature to be enabled. To turn off snapping, go up to View, Snapping, and deselect all of the snapping options. Now if you need to move the pupil by clicking and dragging, you won't have to worry about the pupil going into an unwanted spot. Save your file by hitting Command-S on a Mac or Control-S on a PC. It's time to fill in those frames between the beginning, midpoint, and ending locations now. Right-click in frame 2 and choose Insert Keyframe. The pupil has been copied into this new keyframe. Let's turn on onion skinning by clicking the Onion Skin button at the bottom of the timeline panel. Now here is where the magic starts. Onion skinning allows us to be able to see a set number of frames behind the current frame and a set number of frames in front of the current frame. This helps us reference where we are in the animation process. I'm going to drag the sides of my slider so that I can see up to the midpoint and then one frame behind of where I currently am. This can always be changed in the future if you wish to see more or less. With frame 2 selected, we're going to use the arrow keys on the keyboard to precisely move the pupil. I'm going to go down 2 clicks and to the right 2 clicks. I may have to fudge this a little as I get closer to that midpoint we set earlier, and that's okay. So let's continue with this process. Right-click, Insert Keyframe, down 2 clicks, right 4 clicks. Repeat this process until you reach the midpoint. Adjust where you need to ensure that the pupil remains on the black line without going over it, as you continue repeating the process. Now we're at the midpoint. The process remains the same. The only difference is the direction of the pupil. Right-click, insert keyframe, up 2 clicks or so, right 4 clicks or so. There, we're done with the pupil movement. Let's scrub through the timeline to make sure it looks good, and make any necessary adjustments. The hard work is done. The eye is going successfully from left to right. Our goal is to then bring the pupil back from right to left. Hey, don't panic though. The next few steps in the process won't take nearly as much time to do. We're going to take advantage of a couple of time-saving options this time around. First, extend the outer eye graphic another 20 frames by right-clicking on frame 20 and choosing Insert Frame. With that done, let's work on the pupil animation. Select the 20 frames of animation you already have, right-click, and choose Copy Frames. Go to frame 20, right-click, and choose Paste Frames. With those frames still highlighted, right-click again, and this time choose Reverse Frames. Scrub the playhead to see your pupil moving back and forth from the right to the left. Let's do a final preview of what the animation will look like. On a Mac, hit Command and Return. If you're on a PC, hit Control and Enter. There you have it, a nice little frame-by-frame animation that works very smoothly. Thanks for joining me in this tutorial. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all come up with for your own frame-by-frame assignments this week and also in the upcoming projects. See you in the next movie.